And the reason you like FaceTime and iMessenger and all that stuff so much is because of BlackBerry. If you say different, you're too young to even understand that. All right, guys, welcome to my first 72 hours with the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I've definitely completed 72 hours with this thing, and I was totally wrong about my feelings on the iPhone 13 Pro Max without having it, which is why I tend to buy devices. I might as well just get them to try them out so I can give you honest feedback on them. So like I said, a lot of people are probably completing or feel like they're done with the iPhone 13 Pro Max because it's been out for a month now, or a little over a month. I'm just getting started, and I'm actually really excited. I'm actually more excited about this device than I thought I would be based on the size. Now, I always felt that this would be too big, but after using the Pixel 6 Pro, it kind of got me ready for the iPhone 13 Pro Max because you can see the difference in size there. Let me take it out of the case for you. It's a lot taller, even though it's a little narrower. This kind of prepared me, by just a hair, it's a little bit bigger. And so it kind of prepared me to be able to use this device. So let's talk about one of the main things I thought has been really good on here, which is battery. The battery life on this thing is absolutely great. It's been off the charger for a while. Let me give you my exact settings here. I think I've had it off the charger for a couple of hours or maybe an hour. So let's go down to battery. Here we go. Okay, so I took it off the battery 2 hours ago. And let's see where the charger, and it's still at 100. Now, some people are saying, oh, you know, that's not real. You know, it's not really, Apple's just tricking you. I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever you can say. The fact is the battery is still at 100 after being taken off the charger 2 hours ago. So most phones cannot stay off the charger for 2 hours without moving some point. Now, my battery life is based off of 5G and Wi-Fi. So currently it's on Wi-Fi, but I can turn that off. I've been moving around a lot, and so I've been doing a lot of being out of the house and just getting out and running around over the weekend. And I've been on 5G, and the signal for T-Mobile just happened to be really, really good. So battery life is important to me. But you know, instead of talking about screen on time, I just want to express that I went almost 2 days. I didn't go 2 days. One time, I think I went almost, it was like a full 24 hours and then another 14 to 16 hours. So that's almost 2 days. That's why I think I said online, I can probably for sure go 2 days with this device because it is going to be really nice to use this thing. So battery life aside, that conversation is done. This is, for those that need to know, yeah, it's definitely got better battery than the Pixel 6 Pro for me. The battery life on the Pixel 6 Pro is good, but I always find myself having to charge within a 24-hour time frame. It makes it about 23. I think I haven't fully gotten a full 24-hour cycle out of the Pixel 6 Pro, even with regular use. And it's got a steady connection and everything. It's good, but I think I'm just barely making it to a 24-hour cycle. However, the screen on time, it can match this phone in some ways if you want to look at screen on time. I'm getting between 7 and 9 hours of screen on time, and I can get like 8 on here if I, really tried, or possibly 9. So, screen on time is how people measure their devices. But again, I like to measure my devices if it's off the charger. I think that's the best way to determine whether or not you're getting the best out of your device. And for me, this phone definitely is going to be able to last me for 2 days. And then I have a MagSafe battery, a 5,000 milliamp MagSafe battery as well. And so I can pop that on the back of there and I'm good to go. I can get a little bit more life out of it, so that should be fine. Battery life aside, that is great. Now let me show you a video that I always test with. Let's go here. Let's type in Mr. J.L. Williams 4K weekend. And this is video that I shot with the iPhone 12 at one point. And this video will really show you how beautiful this screen is. It's just a beautiful display. And let me crank the brightness up because some people use their phones at full brightness. I don't know how people do that. I just can't use my phone at full brightness. I just can't do it. Some people still go full brightness and, oh, it's already at 4K. All right, so this is absolutely beautiful quality, folks. Over video, I am sure that this is not being given the justice that it deserves, but it is absolutely beautiful in person. This screen is fantastic, folks. It is absolutely beautiful. Let me scan forward a little bit here and go to an area where you can see the waterfall. This is just beautiful, beautiful footage on this device. Now, I mean, it was shot on another iPhone. It was shot on the iPhone 12 in 4K 60, but nonetheless, this screen is just absolutely beautiful. Yes, they still have this cutout at the top right here, but you know what? After using iPhones by now, you would think people would be over that. And the people that don't use an iPhone tend to complain about that and say that, oh, it's horrible, they shouldn't do it. Now they put it on their Mac. You don't even notice it, folks. I'm serious. It's just like saying the cutout, the little punch hole. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. I'm annoyed by the punch holes that are on the side. I like them in the center. So, and let me just crank the speakers up a little bit here. Give you a little sample of this waterfall here. I don't have it directly by the mic either. Frames per second. It's not, 960, but 240. Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, just the overall experience with this device has been for battery and screen and watching content. It has been absolutely phenomenal, and I am super impressed. I didn't think I would like that little bit of screen real estate, that extra 0.6. Because the 13 Pro that I had is obviously 6.1, and then my Red 13, I don't have the 13 Pro anymore, but just saying the screen size. But that extra little real estate, it genuinely is beautiful. And again, I have to credit that to Android. It's so weird. I have this weird thing. I normally prefer a smaller, compact device overall. But iPhones, I prefer the smaller iPhones. And with Androids, I can live with a Z Fold 3. You know what I mean? It's weird. The canvas is beautiful on some of these these Android phones that, I just am used to larger Android phones. And you know what, folks? I would consider myself an Android person by nature. Like, I prefer Android, and I still do. But obviously, every year I buy an iPhone because I'm intrigued by them, and I like all tech, and so I'm willing to give everything a try. And plus, I have to keep an iPhone in the house. You know the story. But genuinely, I think I'm more of an Apple person when it comes to other things. But I can see what, and like to tablets, I have the iPad Mini 6, I have other iPads, I have Macs. Everything is like really Apple when you think about it. But I don't consider myself an Apple person. Because people relate that seems to like their phones. But maybe I am an Apple person at heart. Because I think a lot of Android users have an iPad. They don't have Android tablets, but they have an iPad with their Android phone. That's a very common thing. You rarely see Apple people with an Android tablet or something else. You know what I mean? They might have a Windows computer or something like that. But they're not using an Android tablet. That's rarely going to happen. So, folks, the battery on here is great. The signal strength is good, too. Like, I'm getting good service with T-Mobile. That's my main carrier, T-Mobile. But I'm sure I'll get good service with other carriers if I test it out, AT&T and Verizon or whatever. Those are my other two SIMs I have right now. But I just think that this screen is beautiful, and even though it's not the highest resolution, it's not 4K or anything like that. That upscale 4K that you see there is actually beautiful to me. Now let's take a look at the hardware here. Again, I know this is pretty much just the same as the other models, the Pro model, but this is more along the lines of how big this is. This thing is fairly big itself, but again, it's become small based on other Android phones that I'm currently using. I just have to reference it. This phone got me ready for this review. So, this hardware, I've always said that Apple has some of the best hardware. And you know what, man, if I'm being honest, this is premium hardware. It just feels good. I hate to put a case on it. And if you notice, I don't really skin iPhones like I do Android phones. This frosted back right here, you should see more Android phones like this. This is Apple's same design, but it just feels great. This is just a great feeling phone. Now, I do prefer to use a case when I go out the house, which I do. As you can see, I have the Pitaka Pro, the Easy Mag Pro, which it is MagSafe compatible. This is my only case right now for this phone. I didn't even buy an outer box because, you know, this was a pretty expensive case. And Pataka sent this over to me. I'm transparent about that. But I really don't need to buy an outer box with having this phone, this case right here, because it's MagSafe. And I don't have to buy anything else. But the hardware itself is just beautiful on here. Now, one thing I like about Apple's products is that vibrate mute switch. That vibrate mute switch is what they say clutch. Comes in clutch. It really does. So that's something I've always liked about Android or the OnePlus 9 Pro. And I have my OnePlus 9 Pro too. That phone also has beautiful hardware. And I'm actually thinking about taking the skins off of my Pixels because I feel like I'm just covering up greatness. You know what I mean? Putting a case on it is cool and everything, but I feel like I'm covering up greatness. And yeah, I mean, I support Sophie Guard, but some phones, I think you just shouldn't cover them up. And this is one of them. So I am going to probably take my skins off, but you can grab them at sophieguard.com, truly support them. But I think these newer phones coming out with all these different colors and everything right here, they don't need a skin. Now, in person, this hardware is going to look gray to some people, but then it's going to be blue to some people. That's why it's called Sierra Blue. You know, it's not blue, but it's not blue. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, this hardware is premium, folks. It's nothing that you've never seen before. It really is. So another area where I felt I was, you know, kind of, after having a 13 Pro, I realized that, you know, the 13 Pro, it was a situation of you're doing it wrong. It's not that my cameras were busted on my 13 Pro, but I'm transparent, son. I turned off HDR and that solved my my camera woes with the iPhone 13 Pro, which is why I was quicker. It was quicker to give it up to get the 13 Pro Max because I knew that I would get some good quality footage. Now it is pitch black outside right now, and I took a moon shot, I believe, and just took different shots. I think it's dark out there, but before it got dark, I took a couple of shots, and I'll post them here. Just footage itself, some photos that I've been taking. I've been walking the dog and just walking around, just trying to get some different footage for you guys. And the cameras on this phone are freaking, they're great. They're great. It's just that iPhones need a lot of light, man. And if you don't have a lot of light when you're trying to shoot, you're not going to get this stellar performance out of the cameras. At least that's what I say. Most of the time when I see people doing reviews on this phone, they have lots of light. And, you know, it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Even in low light, this phone does very well. I've already started to work on the Pixel 6 Pro versus the iPhone 13 Pro. It's going to be a minute, but I'm trying to get as much footage in different, because people always say, why don't you shoot at night? I'm like, why am I shooting at night? Nobody records video at night, son. But just you want to see, I'm working on some night footage for a little bit, and then I've got regular daytime footage as well. So that video is going to be an accumulation of several days worth of footage in different times. But nonetheless, these cameras are boss, folks. I like the cinematic mode. I actually forgot about it because I just like to shoot in 4K with these cameras. They're absolutely stunning, man. So I've been actually shooting video with this camera. I did a bunch of videos. I did my Mac keyboard. I think I did the iPad mini. I did some videos of the Pixel with it. I mean, I did a bunch of videos with this phone, and it is absolutely great. Now, it's not the quality of what I'm using right now, the 24mm prime lens. It's not that type of quality for video in this lower setting, but it's still good, though. I mean, sometimes phones can't match a prime lens, obviously, but the advantages to having a phone like this is I don't have to swap out, you know, lenses and things like that. And if I wanted to just accept what I got, it's going to come out great with this phone. So, you know, is this the best phone for video? Is it better than the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro? We'll see in another video. I'll just put up. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to put it out like I always do, because I didn't officially give you a video comparison of the 13 Pro when I had it against the Pixel 6 Pro, but I'm going to this time. And I'm not just going to do cameras. I'm going to compare the phones as a whole, because people tend to think that you're not allowed to compare iOS and Android. That's just the dumbest argument I've ever heard. It doesn't matter. One thing that you Apple people should be excited about is that Google services work freaking great on this phone. It's weird to hear people fighting over Android and iOS. I did a little poll or whatever and was like, let's have some fun. What's better, iOS or Android? And people was on there, F iOS. I'm like, golly, you guys are deep with it, man. You have to admit, and I'm an Android person, Google services run great on this device, man. sometimes I get my notifications in my Gmail account on this phone before I get them on my Android phone. And it just shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. So again, there's a lot to cover with this device, man. When I'm doing a review on something, I like to do several follow-ups, and I like to make sure I'm giving it to you all the way and just spreading it out and giving you a little bit at a time, because something could change or whatever. But for now, man, I'm actually really excited that I went with the Pro model, the Max, and got rid of the Pro model and switched to the Max. And I'm happy about it, because I think this is definitely one that I like and that I would keep until the next iteration comes out. Yeah. Not to mention, before I get out of here, what people brag about, the ecosystem. This is why I say I don't think I'm really an Apple person like for the phones, but I'm probably an Apple fan when it comes to everything. I like everything else about Apple except their phones. Like, obviously I like the phone. I'm just saying the phones are not at the top of my list. Like, I don't have to have an iPhone. You know what I mean? So some people just have to have an iPhone. They have to get every iPhone, and they can't live without their iPhone. That's totally not me at all. I don't need to have an iPhone in order to be in the Apple ecosystem, because I got Macs I can use for the iMessenger and FaceTime and all that stuff when I talk to my family or whatever. But the point is, Apple people always brag about, the ecosystem on here with FaceTime and iMessenger or whatever, but it's not like they're lying. It's just that you can do these things on Android and Windows, but those companies just don't promote it. You know what I mean? They don't push it. And so this leaves the door open for Apple to seem like they're innovating so much when they're really not. Anything you like about Apple, you liked about BBM. Just keep it 100. I've had that conversation a bunch of times, and the reason you like FaceTime and iMessenger and all that stuff so much is because of BlackBerry. If you say different, you're too young to even understand that. It's your man Jay, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Look here, it is phenomenal. I'm not gonna front. Even though I've had the 12 Pro Max and all these other devices, this one's something about it, son. It's just feeling really good right now. You know what I mean? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Brief little giddy up on this thing, man, to follow up after 3 days. I'm past 3 days, a little past 3 days, but point is, I'm enjoying it, using it alongside my other Pixels. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna front and say I'm not. And I haven't found anything wrong with this thing yet, man. I shot a video on ProRes. You need at least 256 to shoot ProRes because it uses a lot of storage. So I shot a video in ProRes. I forgot which one it was, but a lot of you guys who caught that, who people actually watched the video, said, "Man, it's fantastic." You know what I mean? So there it is. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you again with another iPhone video soon. Take care.